Okay, so this year in the NBA Finals, I talked about how Andre Iguodala came in the game in game 4, and that's when Golden State took over the series and started playing a lot better. And he came in and he guarded LeBron James. So literally, it was number 9 versus number 23, the 923 reference. We've talked about so much. Pope Francis went to the White House this year at 923 on 923. He came to the United States on 922, which was his 923rd day as Pope. It's also connected to Queen Elizabeth II. Think about it, LeBron James, his nickname is even King James. Lots to do with royalty, with the Cavs as well. But also, the day that Pope Francis came to the United States, 922, if you convert that to the Julian calendar, it's 9/9. That is the same day that Queen Elizabeth became the longest reigning British monarch of all time. We just had the World Series that was filled with references to Pope Francis and also the royal family and the Queen and whatnot. I'll just show you here really quick. Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers adds up to 168, just like Queen Elizabeth II. And I talked about a lot about all the 26 and 62 connections to Queen Elizabeth. She became queen on 2/6 of 1952. She turned 26 that year. She was born in the year 26. She was coronated 62 years ago on 6/2. And remember in the World Series, in Game 1, the power went out, and it went out at 9:19, and then it came back on at 9:23, or the Fox broadcast at least, not the power necessarily. But I talked about 9/19 as a date. 9/19 is the 262nd day of the year, so it's the 2/6/2. It all ties into Queen Elizabeth, and then 9/23 is all about the Pope Francis visit to the United States. Also, I just thought of this right now. If the power went out at 9:19 and the game actually started at 7:07, that literally means that the power went out 2 hours and 12 minutes into the game. And of course, Kansas City Royals adds up to 212. I mean, it was so obvious, they put it in your face. Can't believe I didn't notice that part of it. But, so it's tied into the Queen, the Royals, whatever. Queen Elizabeth was born on the 111th day of the year. The World Series was the 111th World Series. It even ended on 11-1, kind of like 111. Matt Harvey pretty much ruined the game, supposedly, or that's why the Royals had the opportunity to come back. He pitched 111 pitches. I can go on and on and on, and if you watch my previous videos, I mention this stuff over and over. I want to stick this to more LeBron James just a tiny bit, so the reason I mention that, though, is because LeBron James broke the 25,000 points. He's the youngest player to break 25,000 points. And he did it this year on the game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Of all teams for him to beat a record, he does it against Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the last place that Pope Francis went to when he left the United States, or the last place he was in. I've done tons of videos on this. Talked about the Flip Saunders stuff and how it ties into Moses Malone and Daryl Dawkins, 76ers, tons of Philadelphia references in the media. But I mean, look at this, look at the game here, the box score. LeBron was 9 of 19 shooting. They also had this picture on Facebook, literally of LeBron, whatever, number 9, number 23. I mean, the odds of that, this guy only played like 4 minutes in the game too. But yeah, on Facebook they have a picture with LeBron wearing 23 and then this guy at number 9. Anyway, so LeBron 9 for 19 in this game. And then he was just in the news a couple days ago for this game against the New York Knicks. Pope Francis also went to New York, to just throw that out there. But, and I even talked about the Knicks. The Knicks are actually the team in the movie Trainwreck, where it all ties into the Philadelphia train wreck that happened at 9:23 p.m., going 106 miles an hour. The engine number was 601. 10-6 and 9:23 are the same Gregorian and Julian. So interesting, it's the Knicks, and that's what the movie Trainwreck was all about, where Amy Schumer is 9 years old in the beginning, and the rest of the movie takes place 23 years later. But LeBron has this whole thing about ripping the sleeves off of his jersey. And look at the box score here. LeBron was 9 of 23. So literally, the game before he breaks 25,000 shooting 9 of 19. The next game he's in the news for ripping the sleeves off of his jersey. He shoots 9 of 23, kind of like the same times that the power went out at the World Series. And by the way, in Jewish gematria, LeBron James even adds up to 923. And the day that he ripped the sleeves off the jersey was 11-4 against the Knicks. Literally, his name adds up to 114, kind of like 11-4. Even when he rips his sleeves off, they show a little stat down here that says he's missed 13 three-point field goals. Okay, 13-3 is the day Pope Francis became the Pope. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Just listen to even what they say. They even say something about Cleveland is shooting 1 of 11, kind of like 111.
Cleveland is a team just 1 of 11, yet only trailing by 9 here midway through the second quarter. James says, you know what, I've had enough of these short sleeve shirts.
So, I don't know for sure, he kind of started a little joke trend or whatever. Kenny the Jet Smith even joked about it here on the halftime report. It's kind of funny, but Kenny Smith is even from Queens, New York. Even started his NBA career with the Sacramento Kings. I don't know, just kind of weird stuff. Also kind of interesting that Kenny Smith here, it says he's number 30 and 31. This article with Kenny Smith, I mean, they do this all the time. It had 31 comments. It'll probably stay the same even if I commented on it. 31 comments, and then LeBron played the 76ers again the night after the Knicks game. Last night, I believe. Yeah, last night. And he scored 31 points, had 13 assists. I don't know. Who knows? It just seems kind of fishy. Also, Oakland. Oakland adds up to 31. That's who they lost to last year. Was the Golden State Warriors, who play in Oakland. And this website doesn't do the K exception, so it'll say it's 22, so I'm not even going to put it in there, but it adds up to 31. Also, Oakland adds up to 58. Andre Iguodala, I believe, even adds up to 58. Yeah, so interesting. We've seen 58 a lot this year, dealing with Back to the Future, the theater shootings that all tie into this number, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Who knows? There's lots of other things I've talked about these numbers as well. The Monetta, Virginia fake shooting. One last thing I want to point out. There's something, I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it ties into the royal family, what the sleeves have to do with. I feel like it has something to do with the royal family. Haven't looked that much into it, like I said. But LeBron James even dressed up as Prince for Halloween. Just found that interesting, he went from the king to the prince. They just do tons of references here with the royalty. Even it says he had a lip sync battle and they sang Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, and I Would Die For You. Which really makes me wonder. I've been talking about Queen Elizabeth dying, the new Prince Charles becoming the king, and then even dying maybe like 33 days before Prince Williams turns 34 or something like that. Also, I talked about maybe Obama and also maybe the Pope being assassinated or dying. So, just interesting. Wanted to point some of this stuff out. Just they're putting 923 around LeBron. His name adds up to 923. We're still following along with the 923 they're coded sports like crazy to other things. Even, I do want to show one more thing though. Last night in this Laker game, the Lakers' first win, they stopped the clock with 23.9 seconds left when literally they threw the ball into Kobe when they didn't have to. There was other people wide open, and they made like the most ridiculous pass to Kobe, and so just so they could stop the clock at 23.9. I guarantee it. So it's not necessarily all connected to LeBron James, but interesting they would do that in the Laker game too. LeBron even broke the 25,000 point record, being the youngest player. He did it 58 days before his birthday. No, I mean, these same numbers just keep popping up over and over. He was even um, born 98 days before 9/23 then, or 98 days after 9/23. Remember, in the NBA Finals of Game 1, it went to 98-98, and the game went to overtime, and it was 98 days after the Cavs and the Warriors played each other in the regular season. They played each other on 2/26, or in England they'd write it as 26-2, the 262 reference to the Queen. LeBron James scored 42 points in this game. The Cavaliers and the Warriors both retired the jersey of Nate Thurmond last year, who was number 42. LeBron James and Pythagoras Gematria even adds up to 42, so whatever, I'm going to leave it at that. Try to figure it out. I want to watch the Michigan game and then the Nebraska game later tonight. We'll see what's up. But, yep, have a good day.